A Journey of Love and Fate. At 78, Margaret had lived a full life, filled with joys, heartaches, and countless memories. She had spent decades in her small hometown, surrounded by familiar faces and routines. But despite the comfort of her surroundings, there was a void in her heart, the absence of her first love, Jack. They had met in high school, sharing dreams and laughter under the stars. But life took them on different paths. Jack moved to another state for work, and Margaret married someone else. They lost touch over the years, but Margaret never forgot him. One day, while sorting through old photographs, Margaret stumbled upon a picture of them together, smiling and carefree. It sparked something deep within her. She realized that time was slipping away, and she didn't want to live with regrets. After much contemplation, she made a bold decision. She would sell everything she owned and buy a one-way ticket to the small coastal town where Jack lived. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Margaret put her house on the market. She sold her belongings, from furniture to knickknacks, all the while imagining the reunion with Jack. She could picture their laughter, the stories they would share, and the love that had never truly faded. When the day finally arrived, she boarded the plane with a heart full of hope. "This is it," she thought. "I'm finally going to find him." As she arrived in the quaint coastal town, the salty breeze filled the air, and memories flooded back. The streets were just as she remembered, lined with charming shops and cafes. Margaret felt a sense of nostalgia as she walked the familiar paths, her heart racing with anticipation. After asking around, she learned that Jack had opened a small bookstore on Main Street. With a deep breath, she approached the store, her heart pounding in her chest. She pushed the door open, and the familiar chime echoed through the cozy space. Jack was behind the counter, surrounded by stacks of books. He looked up, and time seemed to stand still. His eyes widened in shock as he recognized her. "Margaret?" he whispered, disbelief etched on his face. "Jack," she replied, tears of joy welling in her eyes. They embraced, feeling the warmth of each other after so many years apart. They spent hours catching up, sharing stories and laughter as if no time had passed at all. Just as Margaret felt she had found her way back home, fate dealt a cruel hand. A few days into her visit, Jack received troubling news. He had been diagnosed with a serious illness. The world around them shifted as they faced this unexpected reality. Margaret's heart sank. "What can I do?" she asked, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Just be here with me," Jack replied, his voice steady yet filled with vulnerability. They decided to cherish every moment they had left, embracing the love that had endured through the years. As Jack began treatment, Margaret stood by his side, providing support and care. They filled their days with laughter, reminiscing about old times and creating new memories. They explored the town, visited the beach, and even danced in the living room, just like they used to. Through the uncertainty, their love deepened, and Margaret realized that this journey was not just about finding Jack again, it was about making the most of the time they had together. Conclusion: love endures. Months passed, and while Jack's health fluctuated, their bond remained unbroken. Margaret learned to embrace each day, cherishing the moments they shared. Though life had taken an unexpected turn, she found strength in love and the beauty of connection. One morning, as they watched the sunrise together, Jack took Margaret's hand. "Thank you for coming back to me," he said softly. "You've given me a reason to fight." Margaret smiled through her tears, knowing that their love, forged in youth and rekindled in their golden years, was a treasure that would endure, no matter what fate had in store.